Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm actually sitting down with the Alex. Thank you so much for taking me on as a private client.
I appreciate you being here, man. Really think it's awesome and dope of you. I have like 10 seconds to get to something amazing, and you're not gonna believe the copywriting secret I'm about to reveal to you. This is the craziest rule you're ever gonna hear. Write for your audience, okay? That is the secret. You wanna manifest that and bring it in.
You almost made it, guys!
If you're tired of generic, useless, and sometimes just downright offensive copywriting advice, you're not alone, because we are too. That's why in today's video, we're gonna break down 5 quick tips for improving your copy and content so that you're set up to be better than 90% of freelancers out there right now.
So the first tip that you need to improve your copywriting is show, don't tell. Though I personally prefer show, then tell. I'll explain for you what show, don't tell means, but first, I'm going to give you a specific example of what telling and showing actually looks like. Here's what telling looks like.
The 4th tip later in this video is really good. It's incredibly effective and clients love it.
Now, this is an example of showing in copy.
Now imagine waking up in the morning, no dread, no stress, and your inbox is full of job offers. You don't have to go pitch for the day. You get everything that you're looking for, and you're just getting jobs, getting checks, and money in the bank. That's what this 4th tip can do for you.
So what you should have gotten from those 2 examples was very simply that when you're telling, you're using very flat language, you're using bad verbs, you're basically describing things in this very abstract and vague way, and just expecting the reader to know what the heck you're talking about or why they should care. When you're showing, you're using evocative language, specific language. You're speaking to the prospect's desires, their beliefs, their identifications. You're speaking to the things that they want in life, and you're using sensory details, asking them to imagine things. You're building a story in the prospect's mind. That is what showing can do. And it's an extremely powerful way that you can improve your copy immediately.
This is a classic telltale sign of lazy writing. Weak verbs. You want to look for the opportunity to strengthen verbs. Here's a good example that we see a lot in financial copy. The stock fell versus the stock plummeted. A lot of times when you use these stronger verbs, there are extra layers of meaning and nuance that come through in the story.
Very simply, when it comes to strengthening your verbs, there's one really easy way that anybody can just go back and edit their stuff and improve it pretty much instantly, and that's to search for the verb to be, as in to be or not to be, and any iteration of to be that you can possibly find in your writing. Was, am, isn't, is, are, were, etc. When you hunt out the verb to be, you identify immediately every single sentence that is in your writing potentially pretty weak. As an added bonus, if you hunt out the verb to be and then rewrite the sentences so that it doesn't have that, you will never have a problem with passive voice again.
So the 3rd tip, which actually is a concept, is the concept of the golden thread. Are you gluing and connecting all your sentences, your paragraphs, and like the entirety of your piece of copy to amplify one particular goal? If you're not doing it, there's a chance that your copy could really be improved. Imagine this, you're reading an ad and it's basically going into every single direction. The writer basically tried to explain one idea, the other idea. Actually, if you think about it, the golden thread really is related to the rule of 1. Talk about one idea, go into one direction. Don't over-explain everything that you're trying to say. If you can visualize your writing like that, and yes, it sounds weird, but if you can think of going into one direction, adding to it, and making all your sentences, paragraphs, and everything that you write go into that one particular direction to that one idea, then I think you've got really great copy.
All right, so the next tip has to do with the 4 U's of copywriting. What are the 4 U's?
Useful.
Ultra specific.
Urgent.
Unique.
And much like my 4 co-hosts, each of those 4 U's is incredibly important when it comes to writing pretty much every aspect of a piece of copy. The first is unique. Is it talking about a unique idea? Are your headlines or bullets, are they actually offering something unique that the reader has not heard of before? If it's not unique, if it's the same old, then they're likely to become bored or just not very interested by it and move on from your copy. Next, useful. A piece of copywriting is useful if it teaches someone something or provides some form of value that the reader actually appreciates. For example, something that is not useful would be for us to get up here and talk about, hey, there are 26 letters in the English alphabet. Everyone knows that, no one benefited from me saying it, and no one appreciated it. And so I should not write copy that contains that little factoid. Next, urgent. Urgency is really, really important because if people feel like there's a deadline, they're going to pay much more attention to it and they're going to take it much more seriously. So we should use urgency in our copy to get people to act on our calls to action much more quickly and to actually consider what it is we're saying. Because if I tell you that you have 5 minutes to give me a phone call to get $100 for free, you're going to take that much more seriously than if I say you have 5 years to do that. Finally, ultra specific. Specificity or ultra specificity is incredibly important because the more details we provide about a service or about a product, the more people are going to believe that it's real, and the more they're going to be able to see how it is different from other similar opportunities in the market. If, for example, you're selling pencils and you just say, hey, my pencil lets you write stuff, or my pencil has lead in it, that's not nearly as powerful as saying, hey, we source all of our lead from one very specific mine that only we have access to, and it has this very special kind of lead that gives it the ability to write on steel. That's much more powerful than just like, hey, we have lead.
Now, the fifth and final tip for immediately improving your copywriting is going to be a bitter pill that most people don't want to swallow. In fact, I'm going to bet $8 right now that you are probably going to hear this tip and be like, oh yeah, I should do that, and then not do it, because it is very simply something that most people do not do, even when they know that it actually is going to benefit them. Read out loud. Read your copy out loud because it allows you to avoid situations like this.
When our pizza gets to your door, you and your wife will immediately shout, "Let's eat, kids!" When our pizza gets to your door, you and your wife will immediately shout, "Let's eat, kids!" Oh. See, it's really important to read out loud because I know that was a bit stupid, but it really does catch things that can be very, very embarrassing. Reason being is that when you're just reading on a screen and you've been writing it, you know what you mean in your own head, so your mind gets into the rhythm of reading it how you expect it to be read. But that's not always how it would really be read. So when you read out loud, it engages a different part of your brain, so you start to catch mistakes, problems, issues, grammatical errors, or the odd bit of cannibalism that you otherwise would have missed. So read out loud, it saves beginners' lives.
Because I have an outro here. Do these 5 things, you're automatically going to be better than most of the people who call themselves writers on the internet. Now, and then I was going to do something along the lines of like the film booth thing, where it's like, and if you want to see the next video to learn even more tips on how to improve and level up your copywriting, we did an entire video about that here.
Just do it, Sean.
Noah, keep the whole meta description of what we're going to do.
Yeah. just do it, Sean.
Just leave that the way that I did it.
Exactly.